You know what time it is? Do you know what time it is, Jackson? I just
Fine.
feel like we need to start using music more. And this is how we're hopping into the show.
Dope.
Welcome to the NBA show, guys. As we lower the music down till it's non-existent. And here we are after a great week. We'll talk about 10 players you need to know about this NBA season. We'll talk about Josh Primo, very lightly. The man just got $8.4 million just to expose himself. And I also regrettably tweeted something that got out of hand, and I have been punished for it all over Twitter for the past weekend. Anytime I tweet something, people are like, "You're this guy, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm a
Are you
mistake."
serious?
Yeah, dude, I've had it multiple. Even on Kevin Schoenard's tweet, I tweeted at Kevin Schoenard, like responded, and then some guy said, "Aren't you the one who said Josh Primo?" And I was just like,
Oh, I'm glad I deleted that.
"Yeah, you're not in the crosshairs."
I need to find better sources.
Yeah, I got caught in the crosshairs. Also, we just learned that our man, the player for the Philadelphia 76ers just lost 2 second-round picks for Daniel House and PJ Tucker's tampering. No tampering for James Harden, though. I did want to say this, though. Can they explain how the investigation works? Because the investigation, do they subpoena? Do they go through the phone logs? Do they, how do they figure this out?
I got no fucking clue.
Because my question is, they're not a court of law, so they can't subpoena them. So are they just being like, we're confiscating your phones, your emails, or do they just go through Daryl Morey's call logs and text messages and go like, oh, we saw you hit up Daniel House and PJ Tucker?
They definitely check some type of log.
You get what I'm saying? I would just like to know how it works.
Anthony Beltran out here. Halloween in New York City. We got the King of New York in the chat. I'm not talking about Jay Critch or Melo. What's up, AB? Hope you're doing well, man.
All right, so let's get into a few things.
And you got a shaven beard.
Me, yeah, because I was Paul Walker for Halloween, and I wore a wig.
That's sick, cuh.
Yeah, isn't that sick? Dude, I kept saying that. I was like, what up, cuh? And people were like, I don't get it. I'm like, you got a problem with me, cuh? I'm going to hop in my 6-second car, cuh. It's a GTR Skyline, cuh. And people were just like, no idea. They're like, you look like Sugar Ray. I was just like, all right.
Who the hell is Sugar Ray?
I don't know. So some singer or band? You're telling me. I don't know.
Nothing on AMP here.
So we're about to go live. I'm about to send you the link for our phone.
Don't I just like click it and
you just join? Just have your phone's volume lowered. But
testing the speakers with StreamYard sounds like it's working.
All right, enable call in.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And no stay. Are you in?
Mic check. Yes.
I got you right here. I'm sending you it right now. Let's hop into the show.
I'm already in it.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, let me unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let's go and let's talk about the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight. And
Roquan Smith trade.
Dude, how upset were you?
I'm a Packers fan, so I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're a fake Chicago.
If anything, I'm excited.
You fake like Chicago. So right now we're gonna start off today's episode with the 10 players you need to know about. Shout out John Hollinger of The Athletic. The players are Bol Bol, Jock Landale, Nick Richards, Benedict Mathurin, Dennis Smith Jr., Santi Aldama, Jalen Noel, Devin Vassell, Terrence Davis, Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Oh, cool.
So we'll go through this and we'll give our little take on each one. Shout out John Hollinger for the information. Should be useful. And yeah, let's get right into it. I think it's definitely something interesting. Let's talk about the man himself, Jock Landale. What do you think of Jock Landale and what he started? He's literally a combination of Bismack Biyombo and Dario Saric. Like doesn't have old, like just all around.
Yeah, he's cool. I don't know too much about him, so.
All right, so Jock Landale is a guy who played for the St. Mary Gales, and he went over to the NBL, was like the best player in the NBL, and he just dominated in any international play, which put him on NBA teams' radars, and that led to people, giving him an opportunity in the NBA, which was the Spurs. But then he had some moments with the Spurs, but he was buried in the depth chart behind Jakob Poeltl and Zach Collins. So he only had like one or two good games that were worth noting. So then he was traded as a throw-in. They actually had to adjust his contract. He was a throw-in in the DeJounte Murray trade to get the money to work. And then the Hawks didn't really care for him. They traded him for the minimum cash consideration, which is $110,000. And now this man, Jock Landale, and we've always joked around, me and my friend, the Boomer, we wish his name was actually Landale. Jock. Imagine if instead of Jock, Jock.
I call him Jock.
Jock. But no, so Jock Landale, and he's a guy, not an elite rim protector, but he's good enough at drop coverage that he can protect the rim, 6 or 7 out of the 10 times. You got a guy who can stretch the floor, and he's struggling right now to shoot the three, but the three is one of his best parts of his game. He shows the ability to facilitate. He's the guy who's always getting the hockey assists, and they actually run their offense through Jock Landale. He's not as good as an offensive player as Dario Saric is, but he's way better of an offensive player than Bismack Biyombo, but he's not as elite as a rebounder, or no, I'm not elite, but as good as a rebounder or rim protector that Bismack Biyombo, but he's way better than Dario Saric. So he's kind of this influx. That's why we thought Dario Saric was going to play this huge part for this team, but Dario Saric and Bismack all were competing for this backup role, and Jock won out because he has that all-around skill set that he can facilitate, he can score. Basically, guys averaging, I think, like per 100 possessions, 30 points and 17 rebounds.
Why is Shaedon Sharpe not on the players to watch?
Because it's not rookies. Oh, wait, there's Benedict Mathurin. It's just Shaedon Sharpe. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Fuck you. We'll talk about it in a sec. Nick Richards. I've talked about Nick Richards. I've said it. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Nick Richards has been phenomenal. He's been a guy that people forgot that he went to Kentucky. He played a few years. And I've said it before on this show. They've got this great rotation of Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards. It's actually Nick Richards has played so well that they've actually had to have Mark Williams play garbage time mainly. And Yuri has multiple double-doubles. He leads the team in PER, and he's shooting 71.4% from the field and has a monstrous 20.2 offensive rebound rate, 0 turnovers, I believe, still, or he might only have 1 or 2. And playing 24 minutes off the bench. It's ridiculous. He's been phenomenal. He grabs boards, putbacks. His game is simple, but it's so simple that it's efficient as hell. And he moves really well. And he's a guy who could even step out in front of some power forwards. And now he's had multiple double-doubles. So it's awesome. I love Nick Richards. You've seen him?
Yeah, Jamaica. He's averaging more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds right
That's
now.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So see, it's time to get rid of Plumlee. I've been tooting that horn for a while now.
It's my girlfriend's favorite player. Don't get rid of Mason Plumlee.
Like,
it's her
he's
favorite
a cool player, but like,
don't get rid of Plumlee. My girlfriend loves him, but Plumlee's also been great. He's averaging like 5 assists a game, like 7 rebounds and 8 or 9 points. Like Plumlee's been solid. The Richards Plumlee line, it's been like, dude, any championship contending team that needs a backup center or a center by committee would love Plumlee on their roster.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a lottery pick?
I don't know.
One of the Plumlee brothers was, or was that?
I think it was him. It was definitely him.
Yeah, because I know Cody Zeller was out of the Zeller bros, and no, Mason Plumlee was definitely the highest drafted, but he was only 22nd overall. Because I know either way, Bol Bol. Oh my God, Bol Bol. I was never a fanboy of Bol Bol ever. I never was one of those people who was like, Bol Bol just needs a chance.
Oh, you didn't make you're not Bol World on Twitter?
No, sadly. Shit. I also think Bol World's so funny. That guy is so cringe, but it makes me laugh half the time. The best is that Bol Bol tweeted at him, stop doing this for lols, and then blocked him. And he was like, his heart was broken. And then he tweeted, I think I've realized that Bol Bol is never going to be an okay player. But now he must be happy because Bol Bol, he's still obviously there are parts of his defensive game that he still has, he's still getting muscled through, but the guy's a rim protector and they're using him more as a wing power forward. And on offense, no matter what, he's still finishing through contact or drawing contact. There's multiple times where he euros or attacks the rim and he just puts his body up into someone and he looks like me, but at 7 foot, whatever he is, playing basketball, because sometimes I move that awkwardly doing my moves to the rim, because he'll do these moves to the rim like me where it looks so unorthodox and super unathletic and elegant, and then just make it, and you're just like, how? And he does it, and he draws contact and does it through, and it's working, and he's just blocking stuff. The thing is, the best part about Bol Bol is he's made Mo Bamba, who they just paid, to irrelevant.
Well, I don't like that. I'm rooting for Mo Bamba, but yeah. Bol Bol looks nice. He's over 2.3 blocks a game, something like that. Protecting the rim nice. He's moving in transition like a point guard. Yeah, he contorts his body nicely. These guys are just they're too small. They're too small for him. So even though he's listed as a small forward, I see him doing most of his damage down below in the paint. And it's funny because I feel like they don't even – like he's so tall that especially if it's like a bounce pass in the paint, like it's never – right, it's never like perfectly where it should be because he's so tall that he'll have to move a little bit and he'll still go up and he'll still get the dunk or he'll still get the layup. So it's been really cool to see Bol Bol do this. I had to poop him. I had to scoop him up in fantasy last week, so I'm pleased with the results right now. I'm glad to see the Bol Bol bust is no longer a point of topic conversation.
Yeah, and crazy part is he only played 710 combined minutes coming into this season, and that's combining college, G League, and the NBA total before this year. And he's in 4 years. He only played 710 minutes. I think I played more than that for the last 4 years. But let's move on, and let's talk to the next guy, and that is Bennedict Mathurin.
Yeah. Hype. I don't think he'll win Rookie of the Year, but I think he'll be right there. I'm happy for Indiana. I'm happy for him because if this pick didn't stick, I mean, it puts him in a much. It's just unideal. I guess you still got Hallie, you still got your boys down below, but it's been really cool. Bennedict, I love his confidence. It almost reminds me of Jalen Green, and he knows he's good. So
I was gonna say Bennedict. I think Bennedict, not to cut you off right here, but I think Benedict's like swagger, you know what it reminds me of? Tyrese Halliburton. And the ironic thing is that they're teammates. You remember when Tyrese got drafted, people were like, oh, he's kind of like a Sean Livingston with a jump shot. He's an okay player. He's not going to be anything. And then Tyrese just broke out the gate, shocked everybody. And ironically enough, they're teammates. And I think Tyrese is instilling this belief, is just instilling this belief in Mathurin, who's averaging over 30 points per 100 possessions. And it's obviously we knew he had NBA athleticism, but it's the dog in him. He has that dog, like you said, Jalen Green, Anthony Edwards, I still believe that. Like, I have faith that Mathurin's gonna be a good, like a 20-point scorer, but I still, as long as he's on the pacer, I really think this is Tyrese's team. And unless Bennedict goes like bananas and becomes this generational talent,
he'd have to start distributing at a higher level. His
playing defense
potential is cool, but
he still has lapses there.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's right now the front runner for Paulo Banchero and Bennedict Mathurin.
Yeah, Banchero's walking.
I realized it as I said it. As it left my mouth, I was like, "Oh, can I grab that? Can I grab that back and like throw it back in my mouth?" But no, I definitely think Bennedict Mathurin is in second place behind Paulo Banchero. You would agree?
I think so. I know he's dropped a little bit in efficiency and production, but so has Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's what I was about to argue. The other guys he was competing with have also dropped down. But I also think part of Bennedict Mathurin's fault in dropping efficiency is that Miles Turner and Buddy Hield have been playing more.
But Miles Turner's only played 2 games, but yeah.
I know the
Muscari's
last 2 games, it seems like they've been playing the vets more. But let's move on.
they're trying to get those 2 first.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to show that value. I made one of my first videos that popped off like 2 years ago, I believe it was a DSJ when he signed with Detroit. No, he got traded to Detroit Pistons, and that video I posted it, and someone copied my thumbnail like 2 hours later, and I saw it. It was like first time I ever saw someone copy me, and because the video got like 10,000 views in like the first couple hours. But Dennis Smith Jr. was one of my favorite players coming out of NC State, and the reason why was that I love Dennis Smith Jr.'s story so much that I thought Dennis Smith Jr. was going to be the next coming of like a Chris Paul, because Chris Paul came out of, I think, Wake Forest. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if you guys know, Wake Forest is in North Carolina, right? And I just like this like connection that Chris Paul's 6'1", and people forget he was this hyper athletic, similar to Dennis Smith Jr., like blew people away. So I always would play with Dennis Smith Jr. and have him be the score guy, and then always have him like transition into the passer in 2K. And everyone knows what ended up happening was Luka came, and Luka's a ball dominant player. Dennis is also a ball dominant player. And then he was sent to New York, where New York, it wasn't a good fit for him. And his confidence was murdered by Rick Carlisle, who just, if you've read the story, Rick Carlisle belittled him and he almost humiliated and embarrassed him in front of Luka, who he considered his best friend, and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks organization. And then he goes to the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, and I believe who was the coach? Was it Jeff Hornacek or Derek Fisher was there? I forgot it. I think it was Tom Thibodeau and somebody else. Might have been Tom Thibodeau the whole time. Didn't help, defensive-minded coach, and the other was a triangle, I believe. Didn't work out. I think triangle, I might be wrong about the triangle, but whatever. New York didn't work out. Goes to Detroit. There's flashes. Doesn't get re-signed. Goes to Portland. Again, flashes, doesn't get re-signed. Now, LaMelo gets hurt. James Bouknight, Miles Bridges, Montrezl Harrell, all that shenanigan. Team never gets a point guard. Their only guard besides LaMelo is Terry Rozier. Like they say right here, lo and behold, Dennis Smith Jr., I know, like, he's not, I'm not going to say he's being a starting point guard, but at the very least, he looks like he can be a high-level backup point guard and easily a spot starter for any of the teams in the next coming years. And I think he's someone that people are definitely overlooking. I mean, right now, the kid through 6 games is averaging 11.8 points, shooting 53.8% from 3 on like 2.5 attempts a night, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, half a block, 12 points a night. Yeah, maybe he might not become the 20, 25 point scorer we thought he was, but I think he could be a guy who could develop into a six man of the year.
He's still very, very young, entering his prime here. Shout out to everybody in the AMP. We got more people listening on the AMP we made last week than the show we've been doing for 8 straight months, which is cool. I love DSJ. He was at first, like, my senior year of high school in 2017. That was the year where like I was checked out of high school, and so I would just watch highlights in class. So it was Markelle Fultz and DSJ. They like ran my life for a couple of months at the end of the college season. So I was so big on Dennis Smith Jr. when he first got into the league. It looks like Portland should have brought him back. I feel like they definitely could be using him right now. And it's really cool to see DSJ. I feel like, as you said, it was just kind of a tough situation in Dallas and New York. Detroit's just in a different direction. And I think Portland probably should have maybe done a reval, but it all works out. He's hooping in Charlotte. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely interesting how it's all churned, but I'm so glad that it's working out, because for me, I think it's going to be great. Now let's move over to the next guy, Santi Aldama. We spent a lot of talking about him, and listen to this line. Enter Santi Aldama, who hardly played a year ago after being drafted with the 30th pick out of Loyola, Maryland. If you guys watch this show, you guys know I've been hyping up Santi.
Good Loyola.
Yeah, not the good Loyola, the one in the Patriot League. And I have told you guys if you guys follow my channel, since 2019, 2020, that Santi Aldama was going to be a great basketball player. It was arguably the first player pinned to my Twitter, knew he was going to be a great player. And we've been talking a lot on this show. and he had a great summer league, had a good G League last year, had a great preseason, and through the first couple games of the season, he's averaging, I know he's had some games that were hit and miss, but for the most part, he's averaging 10.8 points, shooting 47% from the field, 26% from three, but he's had 2 games where he shot 3 for 8 and 2 for 4, and he's averaging 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1.2 blocks per game. And obviously, he'll probably move back to the bench for when Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back, but Kyle Anderson being gone, he'll take those Kyle Anderson minutes, and there's always been a problem for when they go into the playoffs or against certain teams. When they play Jaren Jackson Jr., they never actually had a guy who was the right type of 4 for this team. Now they have that. So Steven Adams is going to still be the starter, but when they play certain teams that space ball or in the playoffs, that they have to sit Steven Adams like they have in the past, and instead of putting Brandon Clark out there who doesn't space the floor, they can now go Aldama and Jackson, which will allow them to keep Desmond and either John Conchar, Dylan Brooks, Zaire Williams, and John Morant out there on the floor and take advantage of that spacing and the versatility of that lineup, because Aldama and Jackson can switch continuously. You? Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what more I can really add from that. Memphis continues to do a great job at scouting.
They really do. They really do. And also, everyone who's listening on Amazon, AMP, or Spotify or whatever, we do have a YouTube show. So just type in the NBA show, Asseo Elstro.
Whoa, somebody chatted, as a Nets fan, I'll always have a soft spot for Money Mace.
Money Mace? Who's Money Mace stand for? Mason Plumlee. Yeah, dude, Mason Plumlee's the GOAT. And my girlfriend loves him. But yeah, check us out on YouTube or Twitter, Cyro Asseo and Jackson Elstro.
That's not my Twitter, but it's all good.
Gelstro, but just Google him.
Yeah. Just find Cyro's.
Yeah, and it'll lead to Jackson. But let's go on. Let's hurry through this list. Jalen Noel. He's the guy 6th on the team in minutes, and right now they can't lock down a contract extension with him. It's a bit of a situation, but it's seeming like he may stay, but he's looking like he's going to get paid. This guy is playing like a stud. And I thought Malik Beasley was going to become our 6th man, but Jalen Noel, even since last year where he averaged 8.5 points, and the year before that 9, the guy's always shown he can put buckets. Right now, playing only about 20 minutes a night through 7 games, he's averaged, and his 3-point shot isn't falling. Shooting 41.1% from the field, 26.5 from 3, 4.1 rebounds, 2.1 assists, about a steal a game with 13 points a night. Comes out quick sushi, chopping it up. I thought that someone would, but that's not racist, right?
What?
I don't know. I feel like that would only be if like the guy was Asian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, because wasn't it Jeremy Lin that some guy said he was cooking with oil, and people were? I think he said cooking with peanut oil. I think he specified.
Wow. Oh yeah, the specification's low.
Yeah, because I always say cooking with gas. That's not a problem, but I think if you say cooking with peanut oil, that was bad. That's crossing the line.
Jeez.
I just wanted to make sure I had no ill intent by that. If someone found out, I don't think it was. Yeah, but Jalen Noel, have you seen him?
Yeah.
You like him?
He was over last night. We were watching some film.
And
I love Jalen Noel. Malik Beasley's not on the team anymore, but I get what you mean. Jalen Noel, dude, Wolves fans are so hyped on this kid for a good reason. I love my boys out Washington as well. And he's kind of that. I mean, maybe we'll talk a little mini tonight, but dude, he's like a vital bench piece for all the bench pieces they lost. So, hey, Psyche Peak Games. The P stands for good at fishing. That new COD, baby, we gotta run that up.
You love it.
I do love Call of Duty. I only played it for an hour last night. I loved it.
Devin Vassell, thoughts?
Devin Vassell's a walking bucket. Dude, they won last night without Devin Vassell. But this man's a bucket, dude. I kind of first came to know him last season towards the end of it when he was giving me like 15 and 6 every single night. And Florida State boy, I love Devin Vassell. And I think being on San Antonio right now, I think it's perfect. And he's doing a little bit of everything. So I love him, man. I'm very big on Devin Vassell.
Swaggy, we are the hosts.
We need a girl with big boobs.
Bosoms. But no, I mean, we are the host, Swaggy. So if anything, we're gonna add more
Well-
bodies. Like when you're scheduled, make sure you schedule. I already enrolled in my classes. I'm gonna be good for the rest of the year. You should schedule your classes. Also,
Swaggy's done.
You're done.
Swaggy's done in the winter.
Also, buddy, I think your headphones are connected.
Me?
Yeah, your headphone microphone is connected. Yeah, it's you today. But Devin
Wait,
Vassell,
what do you
yeah.
mean?
Go to your audio input on StreamYard.
And MacBook Air mic?
Is it on your MacBook Air mic?
I don't have a mic.
Oh, okay. What are you on right now?
I'm on some shit, my G.
Did you just switch to the MacBook Air?
No.
What are you on?
External microphone.
Switch to your MacBook Air microphone.
MacBook Air microphone speaker.
So much better. So much.
Damn, that's shitty. Fuck.
Why? It wasn't bad. It's just when you started swaying, I would hear like your microphone.
Oh, it's mind driving crazy.
Yeah, is that what you go through? Okay,
yes.
Whatever. Okay, whatever.
We need a Joy Taylor.
Yeah, we need Joy Taylor. Let's head up one of those overtime girls that I hate so much. I just couldn't. That are always just like, what do you guys think about Ja Morant? And it's just like, but either way,
Are these the tits?
Yeah, those are my tits.
Oh.
Those are my. But okay, the 11th pick in the 2020 draft, Devin Vassell spent his first 2 seasons being a low usage guy, and then boom, they have force fed him a more prominent role. The guy's averaging almost 30 points per 100 possessions. Notably, he's done this with no loss of efficiency. The guy's a 3-and-D stud, looking like the perfect counterpart to Keldon Johnson. And Swaggy, yes. Oh, what's up, Jalen Johnson? But Swaggy, I did shave. I was I was Paul Walker this weekend. I shaved.
Is it the same thing?
I mean, my beard's already back. Like I grow a beard.
Right?
Like I already have facial hair again. But yeah. Hey, we'll talk about more Philly stuff on
Dude, that's
later
so
in the show.
funny. I'm glad he enjoys it. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, guys, we'll talk more Philly stuff once we get to it. But it's going to be like Fire Doc Rivers. But
Yeah.
if you're watching on AMP, YouTube, or anywhere, subscribe to the show for more content. And let's talk about the last 2 guys. Terrence Davis. Hey, people forget this guy betted on himself, told teams not to draft him in the 2nd round, made the Toronto Raptors roster, got a guaranteed run. And then he's only 25, but he can shoot, finish in transition, punch above his weight as a rebounder, and can play some defense. And the sad part is he only played 536 minutes last year. Terrence Davis for the Sacramento Kings is a stud. He's making only $4 million. And I think so far Terrence Davis is a guy who is really nice for this team. And people aren't really noticing him due to the fact that he plays for the Kings, but he's averaging so far through 5 games. He's only playing 14 minutes a night, 6.5 points, 42.3% from the field, 31% from 3, 2 rebounds and assists a game, 1 steal a night. And I think he's going to start playing more and more minutes, especially with the team now abandoning the KZ Okapala experiment they were doing. Yeah, and I still think the minutes are a little scarce. I know he played 5 against the Heat, but I think he'll come back. Thoughts?
Yeah, I love Terrence Davis. I mean, keep in mind, he's a 20 point per game per 36 scorer in his career. So I think he just needs an opportunity. I remember him in Toronto very vaguely. And he played a little bit at the end of the season last year for Sacramento. I think he's a perfect glue guy. Like, I feel like calling him a budget Josh Hart is disrespectful, but I mean that in a respectful way. So,
wow, you really
maybe
said
he can't
that.
distribute. Maybe he's not as skilled of a passer, but like you get what I'm saying. Like he's like that Bruce Brown. He's like that Jay Sean Tate. He's like that Josh Hart that I feel like just hasn't really gotten that ability or that opportunity.
I think he's the opposite. Terrence Davis is a scoring microwave. I think Terrence Davis is a poor man. I was going to say Eric Gordon, but I don't think that's the right comparison.
Okay, you're right. I picked my words wrong. I just mean as a glue guy. like a bench player on a championship team.
He's a
I'll take
microwave
Terrence
glue guy. He's a guy who's got a little bit that can do a bit of everything. I'm trying to think of a team in the recent past, maybe a bit of a Cameron Payne, but at a different position as more of a wing player than that. Like Cameron Payne can have a good scoring night, but he's a guy who does a little bit of everything for the Suns, or kind of like a.
I don't like
But-
that. I don't think we have a.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
move
think
on.
We got a good comparison.
Yeah, no. Let's wrap this up. We had a guy
JRE.
who commented that he always
JRE.
watches the show. I
JRE.
love JRE. He was one of my favorite players coming into the draft. And people, you don't know, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. He had a good year last year. He's actually a center. Oh, he's a 6'8" center. And he played at the University of Villanova. So you know he's a smart motherfucker. And I didn't mean to cuss, but I just needed to hammer home the point that this guy, yes, he's only playing 16 and a half minutes compared to last year where he was playing 22. But right now he's averaging 6.5 points compared to last year, 7.5. Shooting 48% from the field, 47% from three, 3.5 rebounds, an assist a game, a steal a game, and about the same, a little under half a block a game. And this is a guy who comes in, grabs boards, imposes his thick boy body. And he's from KC Mo. Yeah, buddy. He's a Kansas boy. He went to high school with a few of my classmates at Bishop Miege, whatever the hell you call it. So I have a bunch of people that in college who were actually Jeremiah Robinson Earl classmates, and they all told me, hey, Jeremiah Robinson Earl is this like really good basketball player, goes to Nova. When they found out about my YouTube channel, I was always told about this guy. And he's an undersized 6'8", 6'9" big man. But as a second round pick on a team that currently has, I think, a top 15 defensive rating, Jeremiah Robinson Earl is like the perfect modern day backup center. Those small ball fives. It's like a mix of a go.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I remember us talking about him before the season, being a little worried that they're not going to give him another run.
That's what I was saying. It's kind of already came true, but I think they chose Jeremiah Robinson Earl over Isaiah Roby. Similar players, similar vibes. And I've said this before. I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl is a mixture of like a PJ Tucker and a Markieff/Marcus Morris. But I think that's good. That's like you just smush them together, those type of guys. And that's what you got. You got Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Okay, that was a 30-minute segment that I did not mean to talk about that fucking long. But let's go on. Okay, Shaedon Sharpe. God fucking damn, I hate when people do that. Now the man that everybody's been waiting to talk about, the guy who's been playing phenomenal. And what is your thoughts on Shaedon? I honestly, first off, people, look, this guy is an athletic specimen, and I think Anthony Edwards is one of the top athletes in the NBA. People, I don't know if this is me being biased, or people being biased against Anthony Edwards. I think Shaedon Sharpe's more of a finesse athlete who does have Jordan athleticism. Anthony Edwards has Jordan athleticism, but he's more of a power athlete. Two different types of athleticism. Like Jalen Green's a finesse athlete. There's power athletes and they're finesse athletes. This is just, I don't know if this is a scientific thing. That's just from my self-observation. I see that there's two types of athleticism, that you can be an elite athlete, but I'm pretty sure metric-wise, Anthony Edwards, besides his vertical, I think was tested better than Shaedon. And I don't know if Shaedon really tested it. I think he might have sat out most of the stuff. I don't know. So there's going to be someone who sees this who will comment this. So please comment that. Shaedon Sharpe is arguably in third place behind Paolo Banchero, and he's probably he's in the top 10. Okay. So Shaedon Sharpe, Jabari Smith, Jaden Ivey, Paolo Banchero, and Benedict Mathurin have been my top rookies so far.
Yeah.
And Shaedon Sharpe, over the last 2 games, he put up 15, then 14. He's averaging 14 and a half in the last 2 games. And the guy for the season in 18 and a half minutes a night, mainly off the bench, is averaging 9.5 points, 50% from the field, 43% from 3 rebounds, assists a night, and about half a steal, half a block a game. And this is a kid who did not play any college ball, just worked out with the team. Was in high school technically last year. He's 6'6" with a near 7-foot wingspan from London, Canada, And the thing is this is a kid that was a 5-star consensus recruit, a man who nobody knew about until he went to the peach circuit or whatever it was, and was previously unranked. And he had a huge come out party at the Nike Elite Youth Basketball League, and there was a bunch of people skeptical about him. He skipped college, and he got hurt in under 6 minutes of play after suffering a small labral tear in his left shoulder and missed the whole summer league. Comes in and has been a key factor off the bench. And now I think, didn't he start the other game?
Yeah.
And so I thought he was going to, and we said this, we thought he was a trade piece. We were like, wow, we gave the Portland Trailblazers the credit because we said this. He's either going to be part of the future for Anthony Simons and Sharpe to be that duo once they move on from Dame, if that happens in the near future. But we also said that if they wanted to make a big boy trade, Sharpe was the perfect trade piece because you could dangle him. But now, if they trade this man, there are going to be riots in the streets of Portland and in Eugene, Oregon, and wherever else, Tri-City area. I don't even know what other city, Salem. Okay. Shaedon Sharpe is part of the team's future, and it's exciting. What is your thoughts?
They're definitely not trading him anymore. I like that seventh pick and who was in that for might have been just the seventh pick for OG Anunoby or whoever the contract guy was. I'm glad they didn't do that. Dude, Shaedon, like you can literally throw this guy the ball anywhere when he's cutting and he'll find it and just throw that shit down. So he's one phenomenal athletic freak. We knew he was an athletic freak when we were watching him before the draft, and he did have some bust potential just solely whether it was like a mix of injuries or just not seeing him play at the college level. But I think people eventually began to come around looking at all these greats that didn't play in college and they saw him play in high school and they were like, oh, okay, I think we're going to be all set. I mean, he's like a future piece. He's we're talking post Dame here, him and Simons. I mean, that's one hell of a duo as far as potential goes. I'm loving Shaedon Sharpe right now. I think we're seeing an increase in minutes. He is he's a very skilled passer. He's shooting the ball over 40%, which people weren't anticipating out of the gate. He's just in the right place at the right time. I like how he moves without the ball. And it's just like even really small stuff. Like it's hard to communicate this, but there have been a lot of plays in these games where he'll be on the wing, the ball will be in the paint, and there will be a guy guarding the perimeter, and he'll just slowly squeak more to the left, like just a foot or two to the left, makes that angle of attack, makes that closeout less efficient. And so it's just these small IQ things where he's finding the places he's got to be on the court. He's cutting when he needs to cut, solid on both ends. Like this is a guy who I'm imagining by the end of the season will be a vital piece to the Portland 50-win team.
No, I agree.
I mean, he jumps out of the damn gym. It's unreal.
And no, so yeah, I think this other crazy part is that it's the ball handling, his ability to kickstart transition, and just him looking like a guy who's ready for the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar by the end of the season, but he's going to make the jump, before the end of the contract. He's a guy who the IQ is off the chart. The way he sees the court and the floor, it's almost like because he used to be a point guard. So when he gets the ball, he's looking everywhere. And the way he processes the court, knowing, okay, even if I don't have the ball, I know how to move without the ball in transition into the passing lanes or into the slashing lanes so I can get the ball and finish a play. It's a lot of the reasons why he's having this success is I think also is the high IQ. You can clearly tell this is a guy who sees the game, feels the game, the instincts that aren't something you can teach. That is naturally you are born with. And literally every time he touches the ball, I feel like he makes a decision in half a second, but at the same time, he's always looking.
Stop calling me. Fucker.
So yeah.
Yeah, we get it. We're about it.
So yeah, no, I get it. I completely understand, and like I think it's definitely something interesting as hell. Any final thoughts?
Shaedon Sharpe, superstar.
He is a superstar. He's going to be a great player. So let's move on to Luka. Luka dropped a huge banger of a night. And what are your thoughts of that? And he's doing something that only Michael Jordan has done.
Giannis is better. No, Luka's a dog. Are we talking any Bucks today?
We can.
I'm just saying, I mean, undefeated, and Giannis had 4 points at halftime the other day against the Atlanta Hawks, and he finished with 34. I'm just saying, but yeah, Luka's a dog. We know Luka's a dart. I don't know what really is new. He's MVP candidate. I still have so many concerns for Dallas, but I don't want to keep insert analogy and beating off the leg. That's wrong. What is that?
What? Have you? Okay, first off, let me tell you what Luka is doing right now. So he's the first player since Michael Jordan to start the first 6 games of a season with at least 30 points. And Michael Jordan's the last player to do it since 86, 87. The other players are like Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robinson, and Jack Twyman, and one other player I'm missing. I'm forgetting the other player, but the longest streak of 30-point games is by Wilt Chamberlain, which he did it 24 games straight. So if Luka Doncic goes 24 games straight with 30 plus points, it's going to be unreal. It's going to be unreal if that's possible. So I think it's definitely something that could help. And yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I love Luka. They're 3-3. I know they started slow last season. I mean, Luka's winning them games. He won the Nets game. He's just winning them games. I mean, Luka's a G. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to win a couple MVPs. He'll definitely have the opportunity to win a championship at some point in his career. So, yeah, Luka's doing his thing. I love watching it. I know people don't really like watching it, but like him and Harden, there's like knocks with them. But I like watching his methodical, crafty skill set, creative skill set.
Yeah, no, it's really fun to watch. And obviously, I don't think 20. Yeah, I mean, Mike Posner, 24 games. Yeah, you think it'd be more because it's Wilt Chamberlain. But so the thing is with this is that Luka Doncic is a phenomenal player. I just get scared that this is awesome and all, but is it sustainable for the long term? And is it even beneficial because it's going to drain him come playoff time?
It's not beneficial at all. They're missing Jalen, man. They're missing Jalen. Shooter, he hasn't even played for the Lakers yet, but that would have been a great get.
Jaden Hardy just got assigned to the G League too.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, it's kind of like playoff Luka right now, where he's just kind of doing everything. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to bite him. I'm not too worried. We're 6 games in, so I'm not even hitting the panic button for Dallas. I mean, I think you got to wait at least 20 games to really evaluate a team.
No, I completely understand. And I just think it's an interesting part when you look at this whole entire situation with Luka. He's doing this, not A, obviously because he can, but B, out of necessity. If he weren't playing like this, they would be like 0-6. Let's be honest. So hopefully they figure something out so it doesn't keep draining our man. But let's move on to another guy. And we'll talk about him, man. He's starting to figure it out. The percentages are still not nice, but I think he's playing well, and he's starting to put it all together. Also, officially, Ben Simmons is out tonight, so we won't see any of him. But this man is playing. I think he's probably playing as one of the top 5 best players in the world right now, in a way, at times. Trae Young. The stats are starting to even themselves out, but through 6 games, he's averaging 35.5 minutes a night, 31.5 points, 41% from the field, 33.3% from 3, 4 rebounds a game, almost 9.7 assists, barely under 10, about half a steal a night, and 0.2 blocks. The last 3 games, he's had 35, 36, and 42 points. It has been ice Trae, and it's brisk outside.
Yeah, it's been cool to watch. He's finally heating up. We knew it was a matter of time. He almost brought him. He brought him back in the Bucks game and almost won him the game. It's a scary thought, man. He's so crafty. He can finish with his left. He can pull it from the logo, get his teammates involved. I think it looks like things are starting to click for Atlanta right now. So, Ice Trae, sneaky MVP guy. Probably won't win it because of DJ, but I love Ice Trae. Muted.
So Ice Trae has been phenomenal in the last couple games. I know the assists have been down, but it's really the result of all this is that they're figuring out how the combination of DeJounte Murray and Trae Young works. With DeJounte being more the last couple, it kind of like it's interesting to see how it works because the last 3 games, DeJounte, he's also had great scoring nights, but you can kind of see that DeJounte is more not is being more of the running mate and
Yeah.
instead of the first couple games, whereas they were giving gives and takes, they're just like, okay, this is Trae's team. DeJounte find a way to make it work, and then DeJounte really takes over whenever Trae needs a breather. Because Trae's actually the last couple games, 38 minutes, 30 minutes, and 36. So he's actually playing less, less than he has in the past at times. So it'll be we're interested to see how they manage these minutes. Anything else? Word? Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. Now, let's talk about 2 teams that I have found interesting myself. These are 2 teams that people were like, they're going to be the worst. They weren't going to be anything. And
Both
honestly,
of these teams are they're blessing my channel with 10K a video.
They are. Both of these teams have been very nice. And interestingly enough, I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of these 2 teams together, but every picture I do find of them, they're okay. Here, this is what this is how it will make it work. It'll be the old Utah Jazz logo. This is what you're getting.
This is like you're streaming the game. When I stream
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah. So the Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs are not taking. The San Antonio Spurs, I don't care what. I mean, I think if I was a betting man, if I had to put money on it, I think the San Antonio Spurs are more likely to be a play-in team than a playoff team, if out of these 2. And the San Antonio Spurs are the type of team to be a play-in team and still be in the like lose out of the play-in and like make it in the play-in, then lose like either in the first or second game, and then get in the lottery still because they're a play-in team, and then win the lottery with like the lowest odds. That would be the most Spurs thing ever. Don't you agree? Make the play-in, lose in the second play-in game, have the lowest odds out of all other teams, and then win the lottery and just be like. But the Utah Jazz is straight up, they're not taking this team. Danny Ainge just came out and said, we're not tanking. This was never the plan. And he was too old for a full-scale rebuild. And I personally think this is a great job, what they're doing so far with everything that's going on, that the Utah Jazz and the Spurs look great. Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Tre Jones, and the rest of the guys, they look solid. While the Utah Jazz, they have Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen and Kelly Olynyk, Jared Vanderbilt. All right. Sadly, Udoka Azubuike and Leandro Walmaro seem to be given up on. But it's definitely going to be interesting as all hell, and I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts of both of these teams, and why do you think they're having success? I think it's just good coaching and guys who wanted to play basketball and weren't believing that their teams were as bad as the media had made them seem.
Yeah, they're both hungry teams. They're both really well coached. San Antonio won yesterday without, Vassell, Sohan, and Richardson. They took down the Minnesota Timberwolves. They out-rebounded the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they made Cat look like a fool after the first quarter once they made their adjustments. Jakob Poeltl demonstrating his defensive value. It's going to be interesting to see how both these teams play out because they have these veterans. I think it's important to establish winning cultures. So it's going to be interesting, man. Conley, Rudy Gay, I think Beasley's sticking pretty well with this team. With Dougie went off last night. Jakob Poeltl looks great. Richardson's been great. It's going to be interesting to see how they aren't they both? They're both 5-2 to my understanding. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season progresses for them up to the trade deadline, see what they decide to do. But, I'm loving it. Both sides. It's just team basketball, man. It's really cool to see. Spurs, I think, are a little bit more team oriented because you got Laurie, the All-Star, hooping it out. Clarkson, they're both playing great team basketball. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's interesting as all hell. And I think this is a team that I wonder, like Will Hardy and Greg Popovich. Will Hardy is a former Greg Popovich, staffer. So I think it's definitely going to be interesting as all hell. When do you think, which team do you expect to fall off first? Tell me why.
Huh. Yeah, it's tough. I'm going to go with Utah just because I think they're a little bit more raw. I don't think either team's going to fall off like they were anticipated or expected to fall off. Like the Spurs, I mean, Keldon looks amazing. Vassell looks amazing. Pirtle looks amazing. But so does Lowry. So does Clarkson. So does, I don't know. This is such a tough question, dude. I hope neither team falls off. But I guess I'd go Utah, which feels shitty to say. I mean, teams are going to start scouting them much harder now. And I got a stupid ass comment the other day from the Jazz. And you're like, do you really think anybody's scouting the Utah Jazz? I'm like, are NBA teams scouting their opponents? I would hope so. We'll see what happens. Kelly O's hooping his ass off. It's just cool.
Yeah,
I hope neither.
I just think it just comes down because Will Hardy comes from the same school of thought of Greg Popovich, with Will Hardy being a disciple of the Greg Popovich coaching tree. This is part of the reason why both the Utah Jazz and San Antonio Spurs are two teams that aren't tanking. Okay, they're trying to play well. They're a team that has the ability to, maybe be a lot better and even push for the play-in if they continue to play like this for the entirety of a season. So I think it's definitely something that it will take time.
Dude, even with the Spurs, last night we saw Branham, but we've been seeing a little bit more Blake Wesley last few games, and they're making impacts. Even guys like Romeo Langford.
Romeo Langford, actually,
everything.
yeah, his shot wasn't falling, but that guy looked like a glue guy. Romeo Langford could be the next Jay Sean Tate.
He's great at cutting. He's just great off ball. He's solid on defense.
Yeah, a lot of these guys who were hoopers, who were scorers in college, and they don't start to make it in the NBA, I think they've started to realize, hey, if I was like Romeo Langford was a 16, 17 points per game guy in college, comes over here, hasn't really had much success in the NBA, and I think he just noticed, hey, maybe I'm not a scorer. And right now it seems like he's a guy who could be a glue guy, who isn't a terrible shooter, but he can score points. He'll mainly focus at cutting, running the floor, doing all the things that don't show up on the stat sheet or isn't the most glorious. So I think that's something that people are overlooking.
I'm trying to fact check it right now. I believe Romeo Langford dropped 44 back-to-back 40s in
college
in March Madness for Indiana. I could be mistaking him with the other Celtic guy, but
did not know Eric Gordon was a Hoosier.
Eric Gordon?
Yeah, he went to Indiana University and
Holy
Illinois.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah. And Illinois?
Yeah, so he went to
Where's he from?
He's from Indianapolis.
Eric Gordon? Wow.
He played at only Indiana, but he technically went to Illinois first. Yeah, he attended Illinois and wait, no, he attended Indiana, but he originally went to Illinois and had a letter of intent, but something about academic clearinghouse issues. He did not play for the Illy and then enrolled at San Diego State. And then, yeah, weird. But let's move on and let's play a game. Let's cue the music. Okay, do you guys know what time it is? It's a fun time. We're playing a game that people seem to like. Okay, change the music. You ready? You ready to lose today?
Nah, dude, I'm on the heater right now.
Jackson's been on a 5 or a 4-game win streak. And as you guys know, we have the music queued. People are listening on Amazon Amp. You might not be able to hear the music. I'll put a little headphone right there so you can get it. I just want the beat to drop. And you guys know what time it is. 3. Hey, hurdle time. Let's get it. It's going to be a fun one. And yeah, I think it'd definitely be cool. So let's go. Hurdle. Let's see the shadow silhouette. This is how we wrap up every show. We play.
Chris Paul.
I call. Yeah. If that's Chris Paul, That nobody won that. We both said it. Like,
Oh!
it's not Chris Paul, dude. That's Cliff Paul right there lying to us. That's Chris Paul, dude. That's Chris fucking Paul. That's a fucking
No, I
Chris
know who it
Paul's
is.
head. Okay.
I know who that is.
All right. 1 second. So,
Dude, I know exactly who that fucker is.
so I'm gonna say here, take my time. Take my time. So he's in the West Coast Pacific, which means it's the Clippers, Lakers, Suns, Kings, and the Rockets, right? Somebody weird. Oh my God. I don't know. He's not a guard. He's not a guard. But he's in the.
I know it is.
I don't know who it is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nope.
I'm not gonna type it then.
It's a guard, fucker. He's on the Lakers. Wait, hold up.
I already know who it is.
That's who's that? What's that wings name?
Who is it? So right now we've guessed on Pirtle. So far, it's a Lakers player who is not a guard. He's taller than 6'3". He's got younger than 33. His number's higher than 0. All right. And he's in the Pacific Division, Western Conference on the Los Angeles Lakers. So who could this be? Who could this be?
Dude, I
Come on.
really thought that was Josh Hart.
That's a good
Looks
guess.
like Alex Caruso too.
Is that your guess? Come on,
No,
guess.
he's on the Bulls.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
That's gonna be Austin Reeves.
He said Austin Reeves. Oh no, it's not Austin Reeves. He's old and.
Crumbled.
So right now I'm trying to decide between. It's not Thomas Bryant. It's not Damian Jones. I don't think it's
do you
Matt
know?
Ryan. It's not Cole Swider. And it's not Scott. It's Scotty P. So that means it's either Wayne and Gabriel or it's Troy Brown Jr.
I don't think it's Troy Brown, but that's who my guess was gonna be.
I know.
Yeah, let's go. He's 6'6".
I know who it is. I know who it is. I know who it is. Can he?
I'll go Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. All right. Oh, fuck.
Nope.
I actually hit it. Okay. Matt Ryan. Thank you. Thank you for getting me this. All
It cannot
right.
be Wendy and Gabriel.
It has to be Wayne Gabriel.
It cannot be Wendy. Wendy and Gabriel is not under 6'7". There's no way. Oh, I forgot about him. God
bitch.
damn it, dude.
Juan Scott Anderson. You like that psych out?
How'd I forget about JTA, dumbass?
I was fucking saying all the wrong shit on purpose.
I couldn't think of a single. They don't have too many wings. I couldn't think of a single wing on this goddamn basketball team that is finally winning. And Russell Westbrook could be an all-star. I'll just say it here. I'll say here right now. Russell Westbrook could be an all-star.
What did you think of today's show? We did good. I think we last 30 minutes. We packed a bunch in. It was good.
Stupid.
What? You mad? What is it?
Forgot about JTA's fucking dumbass.
6'5" or 6s?
I only watched the fourth quarter last night.
Is that what you blame it on?
Stupid.
What's the
Caught
score?
Slacking. God got me slacking right now. Fuck. Missed out on these West Coast games.
You got to pay attention more. All right. No, I just can't believe. Oh, you excited for tonight's games?
I think I'm gonna watch the World Series first couple innings.
Oh, you suck. Okay, you're done. The show has ended. If you chose
Who's playing
baseball.
tonight?
We got the 76ers and the Wizards and the Kings and Hornets to open up at 6. Then at 6:30, we got the Hawks, Raptors, and Pacers, Nets. And Ben Simmons is out. Then we got at 7, the Pistons versus Bucks. And then at 8, we got the Grizzlies versus the Jazz. And then at 9:30, we have the Rockets versus Clippers. So it'll probably be Wizards beat the Sixers, Hornets beat the Kings, Hawks beat the Raptors. Oh, the Hawks Raptors is a toss up because that could go either way. Nets Pacers. Maybe the Nets win because Ben Simmons isn't playing. Pistons versus Bucks.
That
I'm
would
going Bucks.
frustrate me.
Grizzlies versus Jazz. I'd like to say the Jazz, but it's probably going to be the Grizzly. And Rockets versus Clippers. Clippers need this win, so Clippers will probably win. Thoughts?
I'm excited for Hawks Raptors. I thought that was Wednesday. So Grizzlies Jazz. Is Ja out again?
I think I don't know. Even the Clippers look like shit. Our whole take about
Yeah,
the
Clippers do
thing,
look like shit.
They're not a good
running
team.
No offense at all. There's nothing on offense.
There
There's
isn't.
no chemistry. Nobody is playing ever.
It's bad.
It's a
The-
mess. The defense sucks too. They'll
I am
figure it
gonna-
out.
I do have to go film some shit.
Mm.
Yeah, not fun.
I gotta
So-
go do like cool shit.
Yeah, you're lucky. I'm going to go take care of all that stuff. I hope you guys do enjoy today's show. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2 to 3 p.m. West Coast time. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace, Jackson.